for it's another edition of Strictly Sports NFL Friday. Hello, friends. It's your host Anthony Florio here. I am joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We got Michael Bullock here as well, and just a little disclaimer before we start this show this evening. As you know, when it comes to this show, I want it to be all about the games, and I don't want it to be about any off the field nonsense, BS, what have you. So one of these games does have a very serious off the field tie-in to this, and we'll briefly address it, but we're not going to go into full detail about it. That's all I'm going to say on that. If this was a regulation Strictly Sports show, then we would, but with this being NFL Friday and the fact that I want it to be all about the games and nothing but the games, no off the field BS, that's exactly what we're going to do here tonight. So with all that being said, let's dive right on in to week 3 of this 100th NFL season. And it started last night on Thursday Night Football, another dud game, if I'm going to be honest with you. The Jacksonville Jaguars defeating the Tennessee Titans 20-7. You didn't miss anything. Believe me, you didn't miss anything last night. And that's why I'm so glad we do our college football Thursday shows. Let me tell you, and a second longer sitting through that. Oof, no. So big win for Jacksonville. So nothing more to say. Let's get into the rest of the week 3 action. I believe this is the final week before we get into bye weeks, and bye weeks start next week. So with all that being said, let's dive right on in and let's get into our first game of the night. And we started off. I can't think of a better way to start it off than with my team, the Buffalo Bills, baby. Oh yeah, I'm encouraged by this team right now. Cincinnati Bengals squaring off against my Buffalo Bills. The Bills home opener in Buffalo after being in the Meadowlands each of the last 2 weeks. Victories over both the Jets and the Giants. So I'm not at all surprised by that. So this game will be over on CBS. And on the call for that one will be Tom McCarthy and Jay Feely. Buffalo opens up as a 6-point favorite. And let's quickly get into this one. So let me see here. Whoop. Welcome to my world. A little on the slow side. Okay. Hold on. It's coming. Okay, here we go. I think I got it here. All right. What to watch for here? The Bengals averaged the second most passing yards per game in the NFL this season, but are dead last in rushing yards. And meanwhile, the Bills' defense ranks in the top 10 against both the pass and the run. If Cincy can't get its run game going, it could be a long Sunday in Buffalo's home opener. A bold prediction, Joe Mixon will get 75 yards from scrimmage. This doesn't seem like a bold prediction, but the Bengals do have the worst ground attack in the NFL, and Mixon has been stifled through 2 games. Look for the running back to get the ball in various ways against the Bills. Stat to know, Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen has at least 1 passing touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown in 3 consecutive games dating back to last season. The only player since the 1970 merger to both rush and pass for a score in 4 consecutive games was Michael Vick with the Eagles in 2010. What to know for fantasy? Cincinnati's John Ross is the only player in football with a 50-plus yard reception in both weeks this season, but opponents have completed just 1 deep pass, 15-plus air yards against Buffalo this season. Betting nugget, since 2017, 0-2 teams are 12-4 against the spread and 11-2 as underdogs. Buffalo, 67.9% FPI favorite, so there's really nothing more to say here. I got the Buffalo Bills winning this one, of course. My final score is 28-13, but I'm so amped up tonight, mainly about my team here, that I forgot to go into the overall series. Buffalo leads that all-time series, 16-13. And once upon a time, the Buffalo Bills owned the Cincinnati Bengals. They owned them for many years. they had won 10 consecutive games against them. That was until 2011 when the Cincinnati Bengals put together a streak of their own. They won 3 in a row, and then Buffalo got a win, and then Cincy got it right back. Their last meeting was 2017. Cincinnati won 2016. Buffalo last beat the Bengals in 2016. That was in Cincinnati, 16-12. Bengals' last win in Buffalo was 2015. That was a 34-21 final. And the Bills last beat the Bengals at home in 2007. That was a 33-21 final. New era field in Buffalo. It's going to be packed. It's going to be ready. I can't wait. So 28-13. My Buffalo Bills going to start 3-0 for the first time since 2011. Now, don't get excited, Bills fans. We've seen this movie before. And unfortunately, we did not get the happy ending that we've all hoped for. So hopefully this time we will get that happy ending a la 2017. Never will leave my heart for as long as I live. So nothing more to say on this. MF, can you believe my Buffalo Bills this year?
Yeah, no, they've been playing pretty good so far, but I'm not going to put too much stock on Buffalo because of who they beat. They beat the Giants, they beat the Jets. Neither team is really that good. Cincinnati's not that good. I do believe Buffalo should get the job done, and they should go 3-0 to start this young season. So I think once they beat them, then we need to see Buffalo beat, the top tier teams, the Patriots. If they got to play, you want to play the upper echelon teams, because right now they're just beating cupcakes, and that, it's nice. It's good. That's good for front papers, but that won't get the job done once you get later into the season and get really into the meat and the heart of the schedule. So, but I'm not going to knock it too hard. I like what Buffalo's been doing. Defensively, they've been looking great. Offensively, nice run game. Josh Allen has done pretty well for himself as well. So, as long as they stay consistent, you guys should be fine more than anything else. I do have Buffalo winning the game. My final score is 28-17, but I do have the Buffalo Bills getting the job done and going 3-0. So, Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, like you said, the Buffalo Bills are definitely off to a good start. But the thing is, like you said, Fletch, the Bills have beaten some cupcake teams and the Jets and the Giants, and we need to, of course, with the Bengals coming up, but we need to see how they do against some of the upper tier teams in the AFC. Obviously, with the Patriots, and who knows what other good teams they have on the schedule. So let's hold off on this good start for the Bills. If they can somehow beat the Patriots or any of the other good teams, then perhaps we can buy into it. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I got Buffalo winning as well. I'm gonna say 28-14 is my final score. So there's nothing more to say. Let's move on.
Well, we move on from my team to the dumpster fire, sorry to say, that is the Miami Dolphins. Good old MF Michael Fletcher. And it doesn't get any easier. They get squashed at home by the Ravens, 59-10. They get squashed by the Patriots, 43-0. And now they got to go on the road in Jerry World against another damn good team in the Dallas Cowboys. And a lot of history between these two. Now, normally, seeing that it's Miami at Dallas, normally this would be a CBS game, but no, Fox ended up getting it. I don't know how, but they did. The cross-flex scheduling here, obviously. So Fox will have this one from Jerry World, AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Kevin Burkhardt, Charles Davis, and Pam Oliver will be on the call. And the Dallas Cowboys are the biggest favorite of the week. Cover your ears, MF. The Dallas Cowboys are favored by 22.5 points.
Ouch.
22.5. I think that's got to be the biggest spread in the history of NFL Friday.
Oh, where's the Michael Fletcher? I can't take a face. Oh my gosh, that just hearing that just makes me cringe.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
blame-
the thing is that let's be realistic, guys. Look, the team stinks. We know that. Uh, I think the smartest thing that they just did was they actually announced that Josh Rosen is going to be starting. At least he shows some heart. At least he shows some guts. At least he actually plays like an actual quarterback, unlike Ryan Fitzpatrick. Sorry, Florio. I know this is a PG show, but I need to get a little something off my chest.
Of course. But let me get into the other schematics here, and then we'll get to MF here. Miami does lead the all-time series 7-6. However, the Dallas Cowboys have won each of the last 3 meetings against the Dolphins. And ironically, their very first meeting, the first time these two teams ever met, was in Super Bowl VI. How's that for a first ever meeting? The first time they ever played each other was in the Super Bowl. Unbelievable. And Dallas won that one 24-3 at the old Tulane Stadium in New Orleans. Their last meeting was 2015. That was in Miami. Dallas won 24-14. They met in Dallas in 2011. I believe that was on Thanksgiving night. And I believe MF, you and Eric Silva called that game, if I remember correctly.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
And Dallas won that one 20-19. Miami has not beaten the Cowboys since 2003. 2003 was the last time. I do apologize. A video just popped up here. Let me try to get rid of it here. Yeah, I can't get rid of it. These stupid pop-up videos. Okay. I apologize for that. Live show, folks. Live show. Anything can happen. And unfortunately, it does. And we don't want it to happen, but it does. Miami last beat Dallas in 2003, and I believe that was also a Thanksgiving game, if I recall correctly. 40-21. That was at the old Texas Stadium. So 7-6. Miami leads the all-time series. And on the call for this one, for Fox, it'll be Kevin Burkhardt, Charles Davis, and Pam Oliver. They will have the call on this one. So I believe all the schematics are out of the way. MF, well, here's the thing. I saw your Facebook post. Congratulations on your Atlanta Braves, National League Eastern Division champions. At least you got that to look forward to. So I know you're very happy about that. But I know it's been a hard times season for you and Eric Carrier and the rest of your Dolphin family. I do feel bad for you guys. I seriously do. 102-10 in the first 2 games. And now you got to go. I mean, first you had to deal with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Then you had to deal with Brady and the Patriots. And now you got to deal with Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, Jason Witten out of the booth. I think it's safe to say, MF, 22.5-point dogs. I think it's going to be another long day.
You know what? And that's something that I understand. And, even I knew about it. Look, at the end of the day, this is how it's going to go. We know what the pressure is. We know. But the thing is, everybody is talking about the Dolphins. And look, we know what is happening. I think that's the best way to say it. This team is not going to win many games. Our schedule was rough going in. And then all of a sudden, we got these games coming up. And it's really just teams that are just gonna, I hate to say this, but it's gonna end up being a burial job. And that's what it is. No fault of our own. As Dolphin fans, we're gonna have to deal with it because of the fact that it's gonna become a process. And that's the ultimate thing that you gotta think about it. Because I'm gonna take this hindsight 2020. I knew we were going to get blown out by Baltimore. I knew we were going to get destroyed by New England. I know we're not going to beat Dallas. I know that. And that's fine. But the thing is that we're not looking towards this season. We're looking towards next year and the year after, 2020, 2021, because that is really where we're going to get the situation. And at the end of the day, that's where it's going to lie. So that's what's going to happen. I don't care about what's happening now because, like I said, we've blown the team up. We got rid of Mika Fitzpatrick. We traded him away to Pittsburgh, got a first-round draft pick. That means we got 3 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, 2 third-rounders, a 4th, a 5th, 2 6s, and 2 7s for the upcoming draft. On top of that, we got 2 1s and 2 2s in 2021. So, obviously, Miami's not looking to do much and everything else. Plus, with the money that we got that we're saving on the salary cap, obviously this year is going to be a wash. So, this is going to be a hard times year. The only thing I'm praying for is that we do not go 0-16. That's all I don't want. I don't want 0-16. But at the end of the day, Dallas is going to win. They're the far more superior team, offensively, defensively. I would not be shocked if they covered the 22.5. And I'll openly admit that. But that's the way that it goes. And the thing is that, look, we're all going to go through transitions. Buffalo went through it after the 4 Super Bowl runs with the Bills. Bullock, you know this well enough. Back in the early 1990s, especially in the early 90s, your Patriots sucked. And many people don't know that. That's why the rags to riches or the riches that you guys have had for the last 20 years, yeah, you've been great. But I remember years where you guys were the laughing stock of the NFL. Unfortunately, this year, it's going to be the Dolphins' turn to be like the Cleveland Browns, so quote unquote. So it is what it is. I got nothing more to say. Yes, it's over. We're just going to go from there. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you. I got Dallas winning by at least 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a hard times season for your team, Fletch. And yeah, it's going to be a long afternoon. I mean, they got to deal with Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, and Jason Witten coming out of retirement. And I got to say, guys, it looks like he hasn't lost a step since coming out of retirement. He looks like the same guy that he was before he retired. So, yeah, when you got all that, it smells like a long afternoon for the Miami Dolphins, and yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I mean, I got the Dallas Cowboys winning, and I got them winning by, yeah, I think by more than 4 scores. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So let's just move on to you, Florio.
What to watch for? The Cowboys will look to continue their fast start offensively, even without their leading receiver, Michael Gallup. The Dolphins' defense has allowed 12 touchdowns in 2 games, while the Cowboys have scored touchdowns on 9 of 19 possessions in 2 games. Bold prediction: after scoring just 1 touchdown through the first 2 weeks, the Dolphins double up, scoring 2 to slightly cover the 22.5-point spread. Miami's offense has been abysmal, but I'm getting bold here. Even so, Dallas still wins easily. The stat to know: Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott is 22 of 24 for 318 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions on play-action passes this season. And what to know for fantasy? With Gallup out, it's worth noting that since 2017, Amari Cooper is averaging 22.3 points a game when seeing at least 8 targets. That's good for me because I've got Amari Cooper on my fantasy team. Betting nugget: teams that are underdogs by at least 20 points have covered all 5 games in the past 15 seasons. Dallas, overwhelming FPI favorite here, 93.7%. It's the Dallas Cowboys. Nothing more to say on that. 38-17, Dallas over Miami. MF had to leave for a moment. He said he would be right back, so hopefully he will be back so we can continue on here. But so really nothing more to say on that. Let's just move on to our next matchup here. Another game that you would normally see on CBS because we have an AFC team and an NFC team. We have the Denver Broncos squaring off against the Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field in Green Bay. But this game will actually be on Fox as well. And the cross flex strikes again. We got Chris Myers with Daryl Moose Johnston and Laura Oakman on the call. And Green Bay opening up as a 7-point favorite. History here between these two. The series history is tied 6-6 with a tie. And of course, when you think of these two teams, it'll obviously conjure up the memories of one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time, Super Bowl 32, January of 98 at the old Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. Denver winning 31-24, that infamous image of John Elway flying through the air, that insane hit, one of the most iconic moments in Super Bowl history. And of course, the late great Pat Bowlen after they won it. This one's for John. We all remember that. And but the series history, though, last meeting was 2015 in Denver. Denver won that one 29-10. Last meeting in Green Bay was 2011. Green Bay won handily 49-23. Here's the thing, guys. The Denver Broncos have never won at Lambeau Field. They've never won there. The closest they came was when the Packers weren't even at Lambeau Field. It was back when they were playing at the old Milwaukee County Stadium during the strike year of 1987. They played to a 17-17 tie. So that's the history of that. So really nothing more to say on this. I think I've covered all the schematics here. So Bullock, Green Bay off to a great 2-0 start, a very impressive win over Minnesota. But what about what happened to the Denver Broncos, though? I mean, literally snatching defeat from the jaws of victory against the Chicago Bears in one of the craziest endings we've seen in quite some time. So Michael Bullock, let's start it off with you here. Denver and Green Bay. How does Denver bounce back from that heartbreaking loss against Chicago? Do you see that? Unbelievable.
I don't think anybody would have expected to see what we saw last week. I mean, like you said, Denver, I mean, they had this game well in their hand, and for some reason they just could not hold up, and they allowed the Bears to get into field goal range and get the victory. So, yeah. So yeah, and the thing is, I mean, and here's the other thing for the Denver Broncos defense. I mean, in the first two games up to this point, they haven't forced a turnover or recorded a sack, and it's uncharacteristic for a Von Miller led defense. And yeah, they're going to need to do a better job if they're going to have a chance to beat the Green Bay Packers. And yeah, I mean, Green Bay, what can you say? I mean that they've been off to a good start, especially under Matt LaFleur. And the thing is, I mean, it's not just Aaron Rodgers, but it's running back Aaron Jones, who last week rushed for 116 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, so. But the thing is, for the other thing for the offense of Green Bay, I mean, they could be without they may be without Jimmy Graham because he's been unable to practice this week because of a groin injury. So that could be a loss there. But anywho, I got the Green Bay Packers winning this one. I'm going to say my final score is going to be. I'm going to go 31-20. Green Bay beats Denver. So nothing more to say, Florio. It is yours.
Yes, and Bullock, let me know when you see MF back on the screen because I got to toggle through all these other screens here. So, all right. What to watch for here? It's Vic Fangio versus Aaron Rodgers. Fangio is a first-year head coach, but he beat Rodgers all 4 times he faced him as the 49ers defensive coordinator, including 2 playoff games. However, Rodgers did get the better of him over the past 4 years that Fangio ran the Bears D. While Rodgers is still figuring out new coach Matt LaFleur's offense, he should have a good idea of what Fangio's defense will try to do against him. The bold prediction, despite having 0 sacks or forced turnovers in their first 2 games, the first time that's happened since 2007, the Broncos drop Rodgers at least 4 times and force 2 turnovers. The Bears got Rodgers 5 times in week 1, and if Denver does that, it'll have a chance for its first win of the year. Stat to know, Rodgers has a 36.1 total QBR so far this season, 24th in the league, but he did post 408 passing yards and 4 touchdowns through the air in his only career home game against Denver, week 4 in 2011. What to know for fantasy? Packers running back Aaron Jones is coming off of his first career 20-plus carry game and his second game with 30 receiving yards. The betting nugget, each of the past 10 Denver games has gone under the total. Green Bay opening up as a 67.8% FPI favorite. I got the Green Bay Packers winning this one as well. I agree with that. My final score here is going to be, I will go 27-16 Green Bay over Denver. I'm going to reach out to MF and see what's going on here. See what's going on with him, because this would be his this would be the time where he would give his thoughts, and so hopefully,
Yeah, I thought he would be back by now.
I would have thought so too. I mean, okay, we got him. All right, hold on. Okay, we got MF back in. All right, MF, come on back in. Let me see what I believe. Oh yeah.
Denver Broncos and Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I was waiting to see where he left off. I think he already talked about Miami and Dallas. So
Yes, I talked about Miami and Dallas. So
Okay,
if it's
Denver
Denver versus Green Bay, I got Green Bay winning.
okay, all right, fair enough. So so MF has Green Bay winning as well. So now let's move on to our next matchup here, and the cross flex. So that's going to be the theme of the week here, friends. Cross flex games, games you would normally see on one network, but you're going to see on the other. The last 2 games are games you would see on CBS, but you're getting them on Fox. Here's another case. This is a game that you would normally see on Fox, but this time we're actually going to get it over on CBS. We're going to have the Atlanta Falcons squaring off against the Indianapolis Colts from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Fox will have this. CBS will have this game, rather. We got Andrew Catalan and James Lofton on the call. And for this spread, we have Indy opening up as a 1-point favorite. Indy leads the all-time series between these two. Listen to this, guys. Indy leads the all-time series with Atlanta 14-2. 14-2. Unreal. They last met in 2015 in Atlanta at the old Georgia Dome. Colts won that one 24-21. Last meeting in Indy was 2011. Atlanta went in there and put a whooping on them 31-7. Colts haven't beaten the Falcons at home since 2003. That was at the old RCA Dome, 38-7. So those are the schematics for this one. And let's get into it here. Let's get the thoughts on Atlanta and Indy here. So try to find it here. Okay. What to watch for? All eyes will be on Adam Vinatieri to see if the Colts veteran kicker has figured out the quote-unquote demons in his head. The NFL's all-time leading scorer has missed 7 kicks in the past 3 games, including a playoff loss to Kansas City last season. He said there's no added pressure on him Sunday, but the Colts might view that differently considering they worked out 6 kickers on Tuesday. The bold prediction, Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan will throw 4 touchdown passes without an interception, including 2 to Calvin Ridley, as he silences the talk about him throwing 5 interceptions over the first 2 games. The stat to know, the Colts are 14-2 all-time against the Falcons, the best record by one team versus a single opponent in the Super Bowl era, a minimum of 15 meetings. But the Colts have also lost 5 consecutive home openers. What to know for fantasy? Indianapolis running back Marlon Mack has at least 20 carries in 3 straight games, but he has just 11 receiving yards in those games. The betting nugget, Atlanta is 0-11 against the spread in its past 11 games against AFC opponents, including the infamous Super Bowl 51. And since 2013, Atlanta is 5-20 against the spread against AFC teams. Indianapolis is opening up as a 55.8% FPI favorite. However, I'm actually going to go with the Atlanta Falcons to win this game. My final score, I think it will be close. I will say 27-20 Atlanta over Indianapolis. Nothing more to say. MF, Atlanta Falcons, Indianapolis Colts, Lucas Oil Stadium. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Atlanta, man, you want to talk about a Houdini escape. What they did against Philadelphia last week, that was an absolute great Sunday night game, no doubt about it. And now they're going up against an Indianapolis Colts team that, not bad. I know a lot of people were thinking, oh, it was going to be bad, this and that, with after Andrew Luck announced his sudden retirement out of nowhere. Jacoby Brissett was the starter, but they're 1-1. So, this is going to be a good matchup to say the very least. But I think Atlanta's going to get the win here. They got a more better team, a more deeper team. It's going to be an interesting matchup, but I'm going to go with the Falcons to win the game. Close matchup, 21-17, but I got Atlanta winning. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta certainly pulled a Houdini on Sunday night. I mean, able to get the victory over the Philadelphia Eagles, and I mean, the Colts and basically 1-1. I mean, especially after the sudden retirement of Andrew Luck, and this should be a good matchup here, but like Fletch said, I mean, the Falcons to me are the better team, the more deeper team, and therefore I got them winning this game as well. I'll go 27-20 in this one. So nothing more to say. Let's move on, Florio.
And gentlemen, it is time for the first half of our double main event on this edition of NFL Friday. And we start off that first half of the double main event. And friends, I'm going to let you know this right now. It's the Tony and Mikey special. This is our game of the week right here. And don't be surprised because of this, because this is going to be a beauty right here. We got the Baltimore Ravens squaring off against the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. CBS will have it. You would think it would be the Jim Nantz crew, but no, it's not. It's going to be Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, and Evan Washburn. But anywho, Kansas City opening up as a 5.5-point favorite. Kansas City leads the all-time series against the Ravens 5-3. Their last meeting, who will ever forget it, Week 14 last year, the same day as the infamous Miami Miracle. Kansas City won that one 27-24 in overtime. MF and I had it. We had a hell of fun with it. That was a 5-star classic. Shakespearean drama at its finest. Chiefs have won the last 2 meetings in this series. Baltimore last won in Kansas City in 2012. That's also the last time they beat the Chiefs. So that, I believe that's all the schematics here. It's only fitting we started off with the Phil Simms to my Jim Nantz here, because this is our game after all. Good old MF, Michael Fletcher. Here we go again. We saw these two last year. We couldn't believe how fun this game was. But now you've got the 2 hottest quarterbacks in the game right now, Lamar Jackson and the reigning MVP, Patrick Mahomes. Oh, hello, friends. We're going to have a hell of a lot of fun, even more so this time.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to be a lot more exciting. Don't expect the defenses to be a lot better this time around. I think it's going to be another high-scoring affair like the last time. But, this is tough. Normally in Baltimore, I would say – now, normally any other time we would
It's
say
Arrowhead.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, wherever the game was going to be held, I would go with that team. Because of the fact it's in Arrowhead this time around, I gotta go with the Chiefs to win the game. Last time around, if it was in Baltimore, we easily would have said Baltimore, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs to win it 35-31 in what undoubtedly is going to be a high-scoring affair, and expect both quarterbacks to have huge games on Sunday. No doubt about it. It's going to be fun. Florio, this is why we love the NFL on TXN, because when we do games like this, these are the matchups that we circle on our calendars that gets us all jacked up more than anything else. It doesn't get any better than this. And to get the two best teams right now in the AFC, the team that's leading the North versus the team that's leading the West, man, what a matchup this is going to be, and I cannot wait to get there.
Amen.
Bullock, it's yours.
Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be a fun game. If you're looking for defense here, you're not going to get it with this one. And you got two of the hottest quarterbacks right now, and two of the youngest in Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. And the thing for that Chiefs defense, they need to watch Lamar Jackson, because you never know if he's going to be throwing the football or running the football, especially after his performance last week. So that's going to be something that Chiefs defense is really going to have to adjust here. And then, of course, when it comes to the Ravens defense, they have a tough task of trying to contain Pat Mahomes here. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun game, no doubt about it. If this game was in Baltimore, I would go with Baltimore pulling off the upset. But because it's in Kansas City, I got to go with the Chiefs to win this one. 38-34. Chiefs beat the Ravens. Florio, it's yours.
What to watch for? The Ravens defended Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs about as well as any opponent did last season. Can Baltimore give Mahomes fits again? The Chiefs, who didn't score in the second half of their Week 2 game against the Raiders, are depleted, facing the Ravens without wide receiver Tyreek Hill, left tackle Eric Fisher, and potentially running back Damian Williams. Bold prediction: Patrick Mahomes will throw for 5 touchdowns. Baltimore was able to contain Mahomes last season because of its pass rush, but the Ravens won't be able to get consistent pressure on Mahomes, who will make Baltimore pay this time. The stat to know: Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson has completed 57% of his passes, thrown 15-plus yards downfield, up from 39% last season. What to know for fantasy? Since 2014, Mahomes last year and Jackson this year are responsible for 2 of the 4 best quarterback performances through their team's first 2 games. Betting nugget: Kansas City has covered 9 consecutive September games. Kansas City, 71.8% FPI favorite. One score I read, one preview article I read, the writer picked Kansas City to win by a score of 48-41. I don't see it going that high. I mean, I would love to see it go that high, but I don't think it will. That's Big 12 country right there. But it's going to be a high scoring game. I don't know if it'll be as high scoring as you guys have it, but I still think it'll be a good enough game here. I'm going to go 31-27. I think that's more realistic. 31-27, Kansas City over Baltimore. It's going to be a fun game, perhaps a playoff preview, maybe a divisional playoff game preview. You never know. So we'll just have to wait and see. But man alive, MF and I, oh boy. We had fun last year, the game we did last year. Overtime thriller. You never know. It could go OT again. We'll have to wait and see. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait. All right. Moving on here. Next up on the docket, we have the Oakland Raiders. Oakland Raiders squaring off against the Minnesota Vikings at a US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. And here it is, cross flex again. Normally a CBS game, but this game's going to be on Fox here. And we got the legendary Dick Stockton along with Mark Schlereth and Jennifer Hale. They will be in Minnesota. Vikings opening up as 9-point favorites. And the series history favors the Raiders by a count of 9-5. Last meeting was 2015 in Oakland. Minnesota won that 30-14. Last meeting in Minnesota was 2011. Oakland won 27-21. Vikings last beat the Raiders at home in 2007, 29-22. And of course, don't forget, these two teams met in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 11, January of 77 at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Oakland completing their greatest season to this day. 32-14 win. That year, they only lost one game. The great John Madden, of course, was their coach. So maybe some of those memories will get conjured up there. So that's all I can say on that. So I believe all the schematics are out of here. So Michael Bullock, let's start it off with you here. The Raiders and the Vikings. Oakland hung with Kansas City for a little bit, but then they got blown away in Minnesota. Oof, rough game in Green Bay.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough game in Green Bay for Minnesota. And, and for the Oakland Raiders, you said that they basically, they hung with the Kansas City Chiefs until the Chiefs, let's just say they exploded. So, so definitely, it's going to be a bounce back win for one of these two teams. But the thing is, I just think to me, the Minnesota Twins have the better team here, especially defensively. And so it's not going to be a good day for the Raiders. I got Minnesota winning this one. I'm going to say 27-13. Minnesota beats the Raiders. So nothing more to say. Florio, what's yours?
Okay. Let me see. What do I have? Okay, Raiders Vikings. Let me get that on my screen here. All right, there it is. Hey, here we go. What to watch for? Quarterback Kirk Cousins said his future with the Vikings is on the line after one of the worst performances of his career in Green Bay. Meanwhile, the Raiders' pass defense gave up 249 yards and a touchdown to Denver in Week 1, and 443 yards and 4 passing touchdowns to Patrick Mahomes last week. So if there's a time for Cousins to earn a bounce-back victory, this week presents the best chance. Bold prediction? Kicker Daniel Carlson, a former Viking 5th-round draft pick who was cut last year, could drill a game winner for the Raiders. Keyword could, not will, could. Carlson is 19 of 20 on field goal attempts since signing with Oakland last October 23rd. He said earlier this week, that was some tough times, obviously, getting cut early on in my NFL career. But it's been fun just seeing how it's all worked out. I think I'm in a great spot here in Oakland. It's not some personal vendetta for me. Stat to know, Derek Carr has thrown multiple touchdown passes in just one of his past 15 road games, 14 TDs, 15 interceptions in those games, and the Raiders have lost 10 of their last 11 road games. What to know for fantasy? There were 234 instances in which a quarterback completed at least 23 passes in a game last season. Cousins has completed just 22 combined through 2 weeks. And the betting nugget? Mike Zimmer is 30-12-1 against the spread at home as Minnesota's head coach. Minnesota opening up as a 77.9% favorite for the FPI. I got Minnesota winning. My final score, 28-17, Minnesota over Oakland. Nothing more to say. MF, Raiders, Vikings, your thoughts?
Yeah, I got to go with Minnesota as well. I kind of feel like they're going to try to turn it around in the whole 9 yards. And I kind of feel like this will be one of those situations where I kind of feel like the Vikings is a more superior team, even though the Raiders looked really good in the first game, but didn't do that great the second time out. And Minnesota, like you said, not really a great performance last week. This is a great opportunity for a bounce back. I think they're going to get it. I got the Minnesota Vikings winning. So, Anthony, let's move on to the next game.
Okay, you remember when I did that disclaimer at the start of the show? Well, here's the thing. This next game has a very, very serious off the field matter here. And like I said earlier in my disclaimer, when it comes to this show, it's strictly about the games. It's not about the off the field nonsense. Regular Strictly Sports show, we'd be on this all day. We really would. But not in this case. But let's address the elephant in the room here. Because the next game, it is the New York Jets squaring off against the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. This game will be on CBS, and of course, it will be on our local affiliate, WPRI 12, obviously, because it's the Patriots. And let me pull up the numbers here. Let me see. All right. I will tell you that that on the call for this game, it will be Kevin Harlan along with Rich Gannon and one of MF's all-time personal favorites, Dana Jacobson. Yeah, she'll be on the sidelines there, so I know that'll make MF very happy, as I know MF had a big thing for Dana Jacobson back in the Cold Pizza days. I remember that very vividly. She'll be there. New England opening up as a 21.5-point favorite. Wow. Okay. Series history between these two. New England leads the all-time series 63-53 with a tie. They've won their last 6 meetings in a row against the Jets. They swept last year. They swept the year before. They swept the year before. The Jets haven't beaten the Patriots since 2015. That was an overtime win at MetLife, 26-20. The Jets have not won in Foxborough since winning on a Thursday night in 2008. A 34-31 overtime win. That was back when some guy named Brett Favre was their quarterback. So there's the schematics here. So yes. Now, when it comes to this game, of course, we all know the big story of the day. Antonio Brown was released by the Patriots because of all the BS and all the nonsense that, all the baggage that, is following him, and the very disturbing details that came out today. Michael Bullock called me up earlier. He vented to me, and I am hopeful that venting made him feel all the more better here, because me, I don't want to get into this off the field BS. So that's all I can say on that. I believe, is it I who start this one off?
I think because I let off on the last game.
Yeah, it's you, Florio. You lead off.
Okay, good. It's me. Okay. We say Bullock for last. Okay, that's good. All right. All right. So remember now, strictly game, none of that off the field BS. All right. So here we go. What to watch for? How do the Patriots configure their offensive line without starting left tackle Isaiah Wynn and starting center David Andrews? One possibility is moving left guard Joe Thuney to left tackle, but that could weaken the line in 2 spots. This is the Jets' best chance to make it a game, with their strong defensive line winning the matchup up front. Bold prediction, the Jets, with third-string quarterback Luke Falk making his first NFL start, will fail to score a touchdown for the second consecutive game. Truth be told, the offense wasn't functioning well with Sam Darnold and Trevor Siemian, so it's unreasonable to expect a former practice squad quarterback to provide the spark. Le'Veon Bell will get 30 touches, but Coach Bill Belichick will not let the run game beat him. The stat to know, Bell has just 1 touchdown in 4 career games against the Patriots, including the playoffs. Considering New York's quarterback situation, the Patriots could become the first team since the 1937 Chicago Bears to allow 0 touchdowns in each of the first 3 games of the season, per the Elias Sports Bureau research. What to know for fantasy? Patriots running back Sony Michel has scored in each of his past 5 games in which he got at least 15 carries, playoffs included. The betting nugget, New England is 0-4 against the spread in the Belichick era as a favorite of at least 20 points. The most recent such game happened in 2011. New England, a 90.2% favorite. It's all New England. It's all the time. 35-6. New England all over the Jets. And I forgot to mention Dallas is my eliminator pick this week, by the way, in my Yahoo survival elimination thing. So that's all I can say on that. 35-6. It's all New England. MF, game only. None of that off the field BS here.
Yeah, I know, no. And understand, even if we had that off the field stuff, it didn't really matter because New England is just such a superior team, better quarterback, better running back, better, receiving core. But I will openly admit that with the absence of Antonio Brown, that it actually will help guys like Philip Dorsett. It should help out some other players like Julian Edelman. I think they're going to have bigger games now because of the fact that now they don't have to worry about a guy like Antonio Brown in the starting lineup at all. So at the end of the day, it does benefit and it will help. And I do believe that they will win this game. New England is just a far superior team, to say the very least. And there's really nothing more to say. So, I got the Patriots winning. Michael Bullock, it's all yours.
And be encouraged that New England has outscored their 2 opponents 76-3. Now, Bullock, you called me up earlier. You vented your frustrations about the Antonio Brown situation. That's fine. But let's put that on the back burner. Let's talk about the game only. But hey, be encouraged, man. Your team is killing people and taking names.
Yeah, especially in the first 2 games. I mean, they've outscored their opponents 76-3 in the first 2 games. They haven't even allowed a touchdown yet in the first 2 games. I mean, Pittsburgh, you could say is a good team, but obviously now that's different now, especially with their situation. And we all know about Miami. And yeah, it could be another big day for them. But here's the thing, guys. Even without Antonio Brown, they're still a good team. Look at what they did in the first game on that Sunday night. They put up 33 points against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, yeah, with this now, it opens more opportunities for guys like Philip Dorsett. Julian Edelman will probably get targeted more. The same could go for Josh Gordon. Maybe you could even see more opportunities in the back. For guys in the backfield to catch passes like James White and Rex Burkhead. So, yeah, our offense is going to be fine. It's the offensive line that's going to really get tested here, especially now with Isaiah Wynn on injured reserve, designated to return. So, but in the end, it's all New England. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's just move on.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what we're going to do. So, all right. So, moving on now. Let me see what's next up here. I believe this is our final early game of the week. And it will pit the Detroit Lions against the Philadelphia Eagles over at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. This game will be over on now we have a traditional Fox game right here. So Fox will have this one, and on the call for this one, it'll be Tom Brenneman with Chris Spielman and Shannon Spake. And Philadelphia opening up as a 6-point favorite. Series history between these two is tied 15-15 with 2 ties. The Lions have won the last 2 meetings, believe it or not, against the Eagles. That's encouraging for Lions fans, both in Detroit at Ford Field. 2016, Detroit won 24-23. That was their last meeting. Their last meeting in Philly was in 2013. Philly won 34-20. Detroit last won in Philly in 2012, 26-23 in overtime. So nothing more to say on this. So good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on the final early game of Week 3, the Lions and the Eagles in the Yellow Dog.
Yeah, this is going to be a very good game. Philadelphia, they must be stinging mad after what happened last week. But major news, Deshaun Jackson will not play on Sunday. That's a major deep threat loss for Philadelphia. Can they get Alshon Jeffrey back in time? We don't know. The defense got a little banged up. I mean, you want to talk about Philly as a mash unit last week. They got hurt bad throughout the game. It was a bad situation made worse. So we're going to have to wait and see how Philly looks. I think they can win. They're at home. I'm not really convinced about Detroit, though. I don't think Detroit is a major threat. So at the end of the day, I'm going to go with it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So my final prediction is I do want to I'm going to call it. So I'm going to say Philly wins. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning this one as well. I'm actually not quite that sold on Detroit as of right now. So yeah, so there's really nothing more that needs to be said. So, Florio, it's yours.
Now here's the thing, guys. Before I give you all the numbers and stats and all that, keep this in mind. I know it wasn't the prettiest of wins, but the Detroit Lions, hey, they beat the LA Chargers, one of the top teams in the AFC at home. So that's something to think about. However, now getting into my numbers here, what to watch for? As MF mentioned, the Eagles are likely to be without top receivers Deshaun Jackson, abdominal strain, and Alshon Jeffrey with a calf, meaning Nelson Aguilar steps into the role of lead receiver. Expect the Eagles to lean on Jordan Howard, Miles Sanders in the ground attack more than usual, and look for Detroit's receivers to have big days against a secondary that has yielded 6 touchdown passes through 2 games. Bold prediction, despite that depleted receiving core, Carson Wentz throws 2 touchdown passes, including the winner with under 5 minutes remaining. Stat to know, the Eagles have allowed 680 yards passing through 2 games, second most in the NFL, and Matthew Stafford's 630 passing yards is the league's 5th most. His 8.40 yards per carry, or his 8.4 yards per pass attempt, would be the highest in his career. What to know for fantasy? After going scoreless in his final 5 games of 2018, Kenny Golladay has scored in both games this season. And the betting nugget, since the start of last season, Philadelphia is 3-10 against the spread with Carson Wentz as its starter, including 1-6 against the spread at home. Philly, the FPI favorite at 65.1%. I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game. My final score, 23-20, Philadelphia over Detroit. So there's really nothing more to say on this. And now, gentlemen, let's get into the late games now. And we will start it off with the game that will. We have 2 games actually on Fox at 4:05, and let's start off with the first one here. We have the Carolina Panthers squaring off against the Arizona Cardinals. This is over at the newly named State Farm Stadium. And hold on just a moment. Something just came up on my end here. Okay. Never mind. It's formerly the University of Phoenix Stadium. They now named it the State Farm Stadium. I don't know why, but I like the other name better. Just my opinion. This game over on Fox, Carolina at Arizona. And on the call for that one, it'll be Dan Hellie from the NFL Network. He's going to be calling the game with Brady Quinn and Sarah Kustok on the sidelines. And it will be Arizona opening up as a 2-point favorite. The series history. Oh, I went a little too far. Okay. All right. Series history favors the Carolina Panthers by a count of 9-4. Their last meeting was in 2016 in Charlotte. Carolina won 30-20. Their last meeting in Arizona was 2013. Arizona won 22-6. Carolina hasn't won at Arizona since 2009. That was a 34-21 final. So I believe it will be Michael Bullock who will be leading off on this one. So Bullock, you start the late afternoon slate here. Carolina, Arizona. Yeah, okay. This doesn't really have potential here.
And let's not forget, Florio, it wasn't that long ago these two were playing in the NFC Championship game in the 2015 season.
Yeah, it aired on the same night as the 2016 Royal Rumble. I remember that very vividly.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, these two teams were really good. Now look at how they are now. So yeah, both teams coming off losses. Obviously, I mean, news breaking out that Cam Newton looks like he ain't going to play in this game. So that's really going to hamper them offensively. So to me, I mean, I am going to go with the Arizona Cardinals to win this one. I'm going to go 20-17. Arizona beats Carolina. So nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. I can easily consider this one of the Zonk games of the week, if not the Zonk game of the week here. What to watch for? How the Cardinals perform in the red zone will determine whether they win this game. Quarterback Kyler Murray will continue to pile up yards between the 20s, but this weekend might be different. Coach Cliff Kingsbury has shown he can adapt as a play caller, and this week will be another chance for him to adjust to the NFL. Bold prediction: undrafted second-year quarterback Kyle Allen will be more productive than former Texas A&M teammate Murray. He'll throw for more than 250 yards and 2 touchdowns with no interceptions. Stat to know: the Cardinals have run the 5th most plays on offense at 136 through 2 games. They averaged 23.4 seconds a play, the second fastest time of possession per play behind the Panthers at 23.1 seconds. What to know for fantasy? Arizona receiver Larry Fitzgerald is the only player with 10 targets and 100 receiving yards in each of the first 2 weeks this season. The betting nugget: Carolina is 2-8 against the spread in its past 10 games, 1-9 outright. Arizona, the FPI favorite at 55.9%. I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals to win this game. My final score, I'm going to go 31-17, Arizona over Carolina. That's mainly because of Cam Newton not playing. If Cam Newton was playing, then I would have to seriously think about it. But no Cam Newton doesn't equal any. I don't think it equals success for Carolina. So 31-17 Arizona. They should get the win here. So, MF, your thoughts?
I agree. I got Carolina winning. No, I'm sorry. I got Arizona winning the game, not Carolina. Arizona, different. Yeah. The only way that they do it is if Christian McCaffrey has a huge game. I think he's good, but I don't think he'll be able to do as he did. So no, I got Arizona winning, and I got nothing more to say. So yeah, I got Zona winning, and that's it. So, yep. Move on.
Yep. And we're going to move on to the other 405 game on Fox. And this game we're going to get on our local Fox affiliate, Fox Providence, as part of the single game coverage on Fox, not a double. It's a single this week. New York Giants squaring off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. Fox will have this one. Listen to this. We got Kenny Albert along with both of the Barber twins, Rondé and Tiki Barber, and former ESPN SportsCenter anchor Sarah Walsh on the sidelines. Tampa Bay opening up as a 6-point favorite. The Giants lead the all-time series 14-7. These two teams last met in 2017, and it was Tampa Bay who came away with the win in Tampa, 25-23. Giants' last win was in 2016. That was at MetLife, 38-35. Giants last won in Tampa in 2015. That was a 32-18 final. So I believe this one goes to me here. So the Giants and the Bucks. Let's see what we got here. It's a big week for the Giants because of the fact that we got Daniel Jones, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. What to watch for? In week 2, the Bucks held Christian McCaffrey to a career low 2.9 yards a touch and no touchdowns. But they believe the Giants' Saquon Barkley is an even bigger test. Tampa Bay coach Bruce Arians said of McCaffrey versus Barkley, they're on different planets. Saquon's bigger, stronger, faster. He's got more 50-yard runs than anybody I've seen in a long time. Bold prediction, new Giants starting quarterback Daniel Jones throws for 300-plus yards in his NFL debut. The first rounder will show that the preseason was not a fluke and that the future isn't so bleak for the Giants, experiencing more success against the Bucks than most anticipate. Stat to know, Jones was 7 of 8 with 2 passing touchdowns on throws 15-plus yards downfield and outside the numbers in the preseason. What to know for fantasy? Buccaneers receiver Mike Evans has only 14.9 points this season. He finished last year as WR9, and he had a 2-game stretch in weeks 9 to 10 when he scored just 10.7 points. The betting nugget, New York is 7-2 against the spread in road games under Pat Shurmur, including 7-0 against the spread in games against teams other than the Dallas Cowboys. Tampa Bay opening up as a 74.1% FPI favorite. I got the Tampa Bay Bucks winning this game, close game, because I think Daniel Jones could have a big game here. I'm going to go 26-23, Tampa Bay over the Giants. Nothing more to say. MF, I guess the Giants don't believe in Eli anymore. Daniel Jones. Yeah. It's the Daniel Jones show. We start a new era.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. At the end of the day, it's going to be an incredible matchup, and I guess we'll win and see what happens there. So, no, at the end of the day, I do believe that they should win that, and yeah, nothing more to say. I'm going to go with the Giants to win. I think they will win it. So, I got the Giants winning, nothing more to say, and yeah, Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the Daniel Jones era now in New York with the Giants, and yeah, I mean, I guess the Giants finally seen enough to basically say, you know what, it's time to make the change. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does in his first start. But to me, I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this one. I think they're just a little bit better than the Giants, so nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
And now we move on to the 4:25 kickoffs now. All 3 of these games will be on CBS, and we start off with here's finally an interesting matchup here. This should be a good one. The Houston Texans squaring off against the Los Angeles Chargers at the StubHub Center in Carson City. This one will be over on CBS. We have Spiro Dedes and Adam Archuleta. They will be on the call, and the Chargers opening up as 3-point favorites. Series history favors the Chargers by a count of 5-1. They last met in Houston in 2016. Chargers won 21-13. The last time the Chargers hosted this game, Houston actually went in and stole one in San Diego in 2013. That was a 31-28 final. So 5-1, the Chargers lead the all-time series. So nothing more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, we started with you. You can make an argument this is probably the number 2 game in the AFC with Houston and the Chargers, only behind Baltimore and KC.
Yeah, Houston and Chargers is supposed to be that matchup, no doubt about it. I'm going to go with the Chargers, though. I think the running attack has been really good lately and everything else. I'm going to go with the Chargers to win the game over Houston. And Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers to beat the Texans as well. I mean, it should be a really good game, but I just think the Chargers are the far better team here. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. So, Florio, it is yours.
What to watch for? This game features 2 of the best receivers in the game, in Houston's DeAndre Hopkins and LA's Keenan Allen. Hopkins and Allen are second and third in the NFL in receptions at 224 and 215 respectively since the start of the 2017 season. Hopkins' fellow Clemson product Mike Williams is averaging an impressive 22.4 yards a catch through 2 games. Bold prediction, Deshaun Watson gets sacked more than 4 times. The Chargers have only 2 sacks through 2 games, tied for 28th in the league this year. But even though the Houston offensive line played better in week 2 against Jacksonville, Watson will still continue to get hit. The stat to know, Watson is throwing 20.3% of his passes into tight windows, the 3rd highest rate in the NFL, both according to NFL Next Gen Stats research. And among wide receivers targeted 15 plus times, Hopkins is facing press coverage 35.4% of the time this season, 5th in the NFL, to average just 5.2 yards of cushion, 7th least per NFL Next Gen Stats data. What to know for fantasy? Austin Eckler and Le'Veon Bell are the only 2 players with 50 rushing yards and 6 receptions in both weeks this season. Last year, Christian McCaffrey, Ezekiel Elliott twice, and Todd Gurley were the only backs to have consecutive such games. Betting nugget, Watson is 8-2 against the spread in his career as an underdog, including 7-1 against the spread as a road underdog. Chargers, the FPI favorite at 56.4%. I'm going with the LA Chargers to win. I think it's going to be a closer game than you guys think. I'm going to say 27-24, the Chargers over the Texans. So really nothing more to say here. We move on to our next 425 game. When this game, when the schedule first came out in April, this was definitely a game to look forward to, a game to get excited about. But given the recent turn of events, not so much. And this game's on CBS as well. Normally this would be a Fox game, but CBS got this one. The cross-flexing strikes again. We got the New Orleans Saints squaring off against the Seattle Seahawks at CenturyLink Field in Seattle, the 12th man. CBS will have this game, and on the call, you ready for this? Hello, friends. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, and Seattle opening up as a 4.5-point favorite. The series history favors the New Orleans Saints by a count of 7-6. Their last meeting was 2016 in New Orleans. Saints won 25-20. They last met in Seattle in 2013. Seattle won 34-7 in the regular season before beating the Saints in a divisional playoff game in later that year, 23-15. The Saints have not won in Seattle since 2007. That was a 28-17 final. So there's nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. Of course, you know the story. Drew Brees injuring the thumb on his throwing hand against the Rams. And now Teddy Bridgewater takes over. Drew Brees out for 6 weeks. Michael Bullock, I mean, how are the Saints going to function without their franchise quarterback? He's going to be out for 6 weeks at least.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be it's going to be a tough task for the Saints to have to go without Drew Brees. I mean, now it looks like Teddy Bridgewater is going to get the start here. It was already a tough task, especially going into Seattle, but now it's tough without Drew Brees. So, I mean, it should still be a good game, no doubt about it, but I hate to do this, but I got to go with the Seahawks to win this one. I'm going to go 28-24. Seattle wins at home in front of the 12th man, so there's nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
And as Bullock said, this is our what to watch for here. Teddy Bridgewater will be trying to keep the Saints' playoff hopes on track while Drew Brees recovers from thumb surgery, expected to sideline him more than a month. Bridgewater's first start of the season comes against the Seahawks defense, expected to have defensive end Ezekiel Ansah making his Seattle debut opposite Jadeveon Clowney. The bold prediction, the Saints will run for 120-plus yards against Seattle's fourth-ranked run defense. Coach Sean Payton will get creative with his use of Bridgewater and Taysom Hill in Bree's absence, but he'll also lean heavily on one of the most loaded offensive lines in football. Payton was hard on his line after the Week 2 loss in LA, chastising it for getting quote-unquote whooped up front by the Rams. He'll demand it leads the charge this time around. Stat to know, according to ESPN pressure metrics using NFL Next Gen stats data, the Seahawks offensive line has a pass block win rate of 33% this season, the second worst in the NFL. Russell Wilson has been sacked 8 times already, tied for third most. What to know for fantasy? Chris Carson outcarried Rashad Penny 15-6 in week 1 and ran for a touchdown. But last week, Carson's edge fell to 15-10, and Penny ran for the score. Betting nugget, Bridgewater is 12-2 against the spread in his career as an underdog. Seattle, the FPI favorite at 55.4%. I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. I will go 23-20. Seattle over New Orleans. Nothing more to say. MF. So there was a lot of promise, a lot of encouragement for New Orleans. You know, they were on the big mission after getting screwed in the NFC Championship game, and now they lost their franchise quarterback 6 weeks. How is this team going to function?
I think they'll function fine because they got a backup who was a starter before Teddy Bridgewater. You don't expect them to do much right now, and to go against a Seattle defense that's really good, really tough. They got that Legion of Boom type-esque attitude. I think Seattle should win the game, no doubt about it. But I don't think it's full-scale panic for New Orleans. I think that they'll be able to bounce back as long as you just keep keep it. With as long as you don't sink the ship by the time that Drew Brees comes back, then they should be fine. But I do got Seattle winning this game, though.
All right, fair enough. And let's move on to our final 425 matchup. It features the Pittsburgh Steelers squaring off against the San Francisco 49ers at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Home opener for the 49ers after road wins in Tampa and Cincinnati. This game will be over on CBS, and we got the legendary Greg Gumbel alongside Trent Green and Melanie Collins. And the 49ers opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. And the series history favors the 49ers by a count of 11-10. Their last meeting was in Pittsburgh in 2015. The Steelers winning that one in a rout, 43-18. Last meeting in San Francisco was 2011. 49ers rolled in that one, 20-3. Steelers have not won in San Francisco since 1999. That was a 27-6 final 20 years ago. So that's really all there is to say there. So I will be starting off on this one. So I think we went a little out of order here. We should have gone with San Fran before Seattle, but that's okay. It's only a one-game swoop here. But anyways, what to watch for? How will Mason Rudolph perform, replacing an injured Ben Roethlisberger as the Steelers' starting quarterback? And will the 49ers find a capable fill-in for stalwart left tackle Joe Staley? Stepping in for Roethlisberger or Staley is no easy task. And the team that does a better job coming up with solutions likely will be the one to come away with the win. Bold prediction, James Washington will score 2 touchdowns. The wide receiver was one of Rudolph's favorite targets in college at Oklahoma State, and he'll be a solid safety blanket for Rudolph's first NFL start. Washington hasn't been very involved in the Steelers' offense and has only 1 NFL touchdown, but everything changes with Rudolph as QB1. Stat to know, Matt Breida has averaged 5.4 yards a rush since the start of 2018, the most among running backs, and he has 9 rushes, reaching 15-plus miles an hour this season, 3rd in the NFL, per the NFL Next Gen Stats data. What to know for fantasy? 32 of Washington's 39 collegiate touchdown receptions came from Mason Rudolph. The betting nugget, San Francisco is 1-12-1 against the spread in its past 14 games as a favorite, 5-9 outright, including 0-4 against the spread last season, 1-3 outright. It is also 0-11-1 against the spread in its past 12 games as a home favorite. But San Francisco is a almost 80% FPI favorite. FPI has them at 79.8% here. So with that being said, I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers to win this game. My final score, I'm going to say 23-20. San Francisco beats Pittsburgh. I mean, who would have thunk going into this game? You would have thought going in, you would have thought Pittsburgh would have had no trouble with them. But MF, oh boy, hard times. Big Ben is done for the year. Ooh,
yep. Bad loss, no doubt about it. Big injury, and the Niners are going to benefit from that. I got the 49ers winning as well. There's really nothing more to say. Bullock, is it yours, or do I toss it back to Florio? Yep, I guess it's to you.
It's my turn.
All right, go ahead.
Normally with this game we would have had Pittsburgh winning this, but yeah, things definitely took a turn when Ben Roethlisberger got hurt and he is done for the season. Oof. That's a big loss for the Pittsburgh Steelers there. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a long day for Pittsburgh. Shockingly, I'm actually going to go with the 49ers as well to win this game. 20-17 is my final score. So, nothing more to say. Florio, I think it's Sunday Night Football time.
Yes, it is.
What happened with what? Did we lose them?
We might have.
You didn't leave anything on the chat box.
No, he didn't leave anything on the chat box. No, you're right. We just got to look it up here. I'm just gonna reach out to him and see what's going on. I don't know if it was a connection thing or what it was, but anywho, Sunday Night Football, it is the other half of our double main event, the other huge game of the other big headline game here in week 3. What a matchup we have here. The Los Angeles Rams squaring off against the Cleveland Browns from Cleveland Browns Stadium, the Dog Pound in Cleveland. You know who's working this one, as always. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya, and the Rams opening up as 3-point favorites. Series history favors the Rams 11-9. And the Rams have won the last 2 meetings between these two teams. Their last meeting was in 2015, back when the Rams were in St. Louis. And it was in St. Louis at the old Edward Jones Dome. Rams won that one going away 24-6. Their last meeting in Cleveland was 2011. Rams also won that one 13-12. The Browns have not beaten the Rams at home since all the way back in 1987. That was a 30-17 year. That was the strike year, the replacement year. We all remember that. So that's all the schematics here. I don't know what happened to MF. MF was supposed to lead off on this, so we're just going to have to give it to Michael Bullock here. So Bullock, come on in. You get to start off on the other half of our huge double main event here. Los Angeles Rams, Cleveland Browns. First Sunday Night Football game in Cleveland since 2008. So here you go. So Bullock.
Yeah.
Rams, Browns. Another potential 5-star Shakespearean drama classic if all goes well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, this is definitely going to be this is definitely an exciting time for Cleveland. I mean, first time they have a Sunday night game since 2008. Yeah, and they're really going to get tested against the Los Angeles Rams team that basically took care of the New Orleans Saints last week. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if this Cleveland Browns team can definitely keep up with the Rams, especially with that defense of theirs. So, yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. I mean, I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams to win this one. I'm going to go 31-17. The LA Rams beat the Cleveland Browns. So, Florio, it is yours.
Yeah. What to watch for? Can Cleveland's beleaguered offensive line protect Baker Mayfield facing off against Aaron Donald and a ferocious Rams front? Only 2 other quarterbacks have held the ball longer on average through 2 weeks than Mayfield, according to NFL Next Gen Stats research. Bold prediction: Aaron Donald sacks Baker Mayfield at least twice. The 2-time reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year has 0 sacks through 2 weeks. That spells trouble for Mayfield behind a Browns offensive line that has been less than stellar. The Rams' pass rush has been solid from the edges, but on Sunday night, it will be Donald who dominates. The stat to know: over the first 2 games, the Rams have scored just 19 of their 57 points in the first half, after ranking second in the league last year with an average of 17.4 points per first half. What to know for fantasy? Baker Mayfield has failed to throw for multiple scores in each of his first 2 games this season, but he has never had 3 consecutive such games. Betting nugget: Los Angeles has covered 6 of its past 7 games, with the only exception being Super Bowl 53, and the Rams have covered all 5 games as a favorite in that span. Rams, the FPI favorite at 61%. 61% FPI rate for the Rams. So I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams to win this one. I think it's going to be a closer game than Bullock thinks. I'm going to go 28-24. The Rams over the Browns. Should be a great game on Sunday night. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be great. So 1 game left, and that is Monday Night Football. We have the Chicago Bears squaring off against the Washington Redskins at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Monday Night Football on ESPN. You know who's working that. Joe Tessitore, Booger McFarland, Lisa Salters. Chicago opening up as a 4-point favorite. Series history favors the Washington Redskins 22-20 with a tie. And here's the big number here, folks. The Redskins have won each of the last 7 meetings in a row against the Bears. Their last meeting was 2016 in Chicago. Redskins won going away 41-21. Their last game in Washington was 2013. The Redskins won that one in a wild, wild game, 45-41, 5-star classic there. The Bears haven't beaten the Redskins since 2003. That was a 27-24 win in Chicago. The Bears have not won in Washington since 2001. That was a 20-15 final. So with all that being said, let's get into our final matchup of the night. What to watch for? It's a matchup between a struggling quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, and a struggling defense. Washington ranks 30th in yards a game allowed and has just 2 sacks in 72 pass attempts. The Redskins offense will want to get the ball down the middle of the field to receiver Terry McLaurin, but that could be tough against the Chicago defense. Bold prediction: Bears rookie David Montgomery rushes for more than 150 yards. Chicago coach Matt Nagy is expected to ride the hot hand Monday night, and that probably won't be Trubisky. The Bears believe Montgomery only scratched the surface with his performance last week in Denver. 18 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown. Stat to know: McLaurin had at least 60 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown in each of his first 2 career games. He is the first player to accomplish that feat since Calvin Johnson in 2007. And if McLaurin posts those numbers Monday night, he would be the second player since the 1970 merger to do so in each of his first 3 career games, the other being Louis Lips in 1984. What to know for fantasy? Montgomery had just 18 rushing yards in his NFL debut, but last week he had 18 carries. The betting nugget: since 2015, Washington is 0-6 outright and against the spread in Monday Night Football games. Chicago, a 57.4% FPI favorite. I'm going with the Chicago Bears to win this game. I will say final score, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to say 13-10, Chicago over Washington. Michael Bullock, close it out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna go with the Chicago Bears to win this one. I expect their defense to make it very tough on Case Keenum and that and the offense. So yeah, so there's I got the Chicago Bears winning this one. I'm gonna say 27-14 is my final score. So with that being said, Flora, let's just put a bow on this edition of NFL Friday.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to put the bow on this edition of NFL Friday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. Not sure what happened to MF there. I don't know if he just left because he had work commitments or if something happened.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, it probably was work commitments. It wouldn't surprise me. So, but anywho, let's get into our shout outs here. Michael Bullock, you started out with that, and then we'll get into our very exciting future content.
All right, we thank you all so very much for tuning in for another great edition of NFL Friday, and of course, shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's this or all of our wrestling shows, and of course, shout outs to all of our super fans out there. You guys know who you are. To all of our friends from our high school days, you guys know who you are. To our local personalities from 6, 10, and 12. Our personalities from ESPN, Fox Sports, MLB Network, NFL Network, NHL Network, NBA TV, and all the other networks out there. Our friends from The Road Show, of course, former co-hosts Mary Larson and Megan Mooney, and of course to the current hosts, Will, Brenda, and Michaela. So yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for me. So until Monday night for an all-new edition of Ridiculously Raw, this is Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. And of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Portrait 4 style. Bye for now. And enjoy your weekend, everybody. Enjoy the college football action later today. And then, of course, the NFL action on Sunday. So, Florio, take us home.
Yeah, we'll do, Bullock. Special shouts to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make our shows as over as they are. We appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world. Of course, special shout outs, of course, to the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Whitson, Kevin Whitson, of course, the Whitson family. We also have our insiders, Matt Ward and Jason Hexenbaugh, our good friend Daniel Luttrell from the UK, the other First Ladies, Kaiser Butler, Megan Silva, and Lexi Calloway. The other crew members, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Al Braderson, Rob Parsons. Our group outing crew, as always. You guys know who you are, especially Mike and Brian Keenan, Mike Silvera, Ryan Abedizian, Jason Greenwood, the whole crew. They know who they are. And of course, good old MF Michael Fletcher, who had to leave early, obviously, because of work commitments. Wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. Of course, Derek Ferreira. How great was it to be back on with Derek the other night? That was a lot of fun. I cannot wait to do that going forward. We're going to do that again on Wednesday night. We'll get into that in just a moment. It was like Derek never left. That's all there is to say on that. So big shout out to him and all of our personalities from 6, 10, and 12, all of our friends over at ESPN, FS1, NFL Network, MLB Network, NHL Network, NBA TV, Lindsey McCormick and Stata Sorrell, our friends from The Road Show, Will Gilbert, Brendan Kirby, and Michaela Johnson, former co-hosts Megan Mooney and Mary Larson, and of course, last but not least, my dear friends over at Oasis of Grace Ministries on 464 Silver Spring Street in Providence. If you need a church home, check them out. Exit 25 off Route 95. Sunday mornings at 10:30, Sunday morning service, and then Wednesday nights at 7, Bible study, other things going on. And that's it for that. We will be back with you Monday night, immediately following Monday Night Raw for another edition of Ridiculously Raw, right back here on the Tone 25. We'll review Monday Night Raw as we continue the road to Hell in a Cell. We'll get into Monday Night Raw and, of course, my latest Tony's take on 205 Live and Impact Wrestling. Tuesday night, we got the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF over on his channel, Brace Bay 95. Run down SmackDown Live. If there's anything in the Mikey's mindset, I know MF will share that. Wednesday night, of course. Wednesday night, we have a new show. It's called Wednesday Night Mayhem, hosted by Derek Ferreira. Very successful show this past week, over 50 views. We're very grateful for the support for Derek. As Derek made his return to hosting, it was so great to be a part of that. I'm very much looking forward to doing that every week going forward. It's going to be great. So So that's on Wednesday, and then of course Thursday we have Week 5 of college football. Thursday rather. Interesting games coming up. Of course, Virginia and Notre Dame looks to be the headliner for next week, unless some other games come out, but we'll see. And then next week, Week 4 edition of NFL Friday. It will be our last NFL Friday show on the Friday night this year, because the following week that's when the Cerebral Smack Talk will then be moving to Friday nights to accommodate, the all new Friday night SmackDown on Fox. So, but next week will be our final NFL Friday show for Week 4. Some of the standout games for next week, you have it really starts on Thursday night with the Philadelphia Eagles squaring off against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau. That should be a fun one. The Cleveland Browns against the Baltimore Ravens. That's another fun one. And what could be a potential first place game in the AFC East, the New England Patriots against the Buffalo Bills. That game, if both teams win, that could end up being a big game in the AFC East. So we might have to keep an eye out on that one. Kansas City Chiefs against the Detroit Lions. Minnesota Vikings against the Chicago Bears. And that's pretty much it. I would have said Dallas and New Orleans, but with the Breeze injury, we'll have to wait and see. So those are just some of the standout games to look forward to next week. So that'll do it for this. And until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, it's Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson, and of course DFMRI 401 Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed weekend. Enjoy all of the college football action tomorrow and the NFL action on Sunday. And until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, you've been watching Week 3 of Strictly Sports NFL Friday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com and also on StreamYard.com as well. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.